Ciao ragazzi, che succede? We're back. Today we're doing a GM turn for Stars Without Number. Or it's actually Stars Without Number is the name of the system we're using, of course. The actual episode is it's Project Eden, of course, up there, and the actual episode is going to be. I guess this is technically episode 13.5. Is what we're doing. I'll have to write that down. This is GM turn. It's like GM turn 7. Actually, I should double check that. If I look up here real quick, I believe we're up to GM turn. This is going to be GM turn 5. There's GM turn 5. That's going to be episode 13.5. That might sound a little strange, but for those of you that are following along with the Project Eden series, the GM turns happen approximately every month in game. It's been a few episodes since we've actually had it. So the most recent episode we've had has been episode 13, which means that this is somewhere between episodes 13 and 14. It's not a full episode. If you're avoiding spoilers, now is the time to do it. But this is the episode basically where for the next hour or two, I will go over what the factions are doing after all the players have taken their actions, they've done their turns. They've played a few episodes. And double checking this. Let's see. Episode 9 was the Clara problem. Then we did 9.5, which is GM turn 4. So then we went episodes 10, 11, 12, 13. So it looks like actually, because 12 was also part 2, was a two-parter. So episodes 10, 11, and 12 were the same. Technically, our first two-part episode, then episode 13. So now, yes, this is going to be episodes 14 to episodes 15 coming up, starting in just a couple days. So that'll be exciting. I'm curious to see where these what the factions are going to do. Things are getting a little heated, but first we have to remember what we were doing before. So of course I have a bunch of notes that I took, and in episodes 11 and 12, the two-part episode, the Mercs, the players, discovered. Let's just pull this up, shall we? Let's go to here. You like the new overlays? I just made some new overlays. So here we have our region map loading in, and we have some new colonists as well as we wait for this to load up. You got Sophia, Klaus, Dr. B, Lucy Fur, Steinberg, Skeeter Barker 2.0, Alison, who we will actually see again soon, Gromit, Snow, Kai, Bruce Wing, Mr. Eagle, who is he hasn't actually renamed himself. I should probably adjust this too. Echo Cornelius, Gearlock, Von Ironwake, Black Reef, the 7th. The 8th. Not the 8th. The 7th was his father. And Wevitt, who's going to be joining us for the next episode. So that's actually really exciting. We'll see. And then after that, we'll be joined by, I believe it's going to be Alison, Josie. We have a new person playing, Ray Shizzle, who I'm actually also looking forward to. We have to make him a character. He hasn't made a character yet. And Sunny, or a bit of Sunshine. So that'll be fun as well. I'm looking forward to these. Why is this? Why are you wiggly? Why are you getting being weird? Is it because I did this? F11, you can do that. I don't know if that actually made it better or worse. Why are you? That was weird. Anyway, so with episodes 11 and 12, we the party sought to check out this here beacon. They traveled up this way, and what we learned was they actually got, and accidentally so, I didn't really intend for this to happen, but functionally it was great. The party came up this way, they hit some water, and they went north. They could have gone south, they could have gone around this way, but they really couldn't tell. All they could see was just like the edge of where they were traveling, so they had no idea how far the water went. And this is supposed to be like a small lake, some rivers, lakes, whatever. But they ended up actually traveling north, which bumped them into the crash site for the Compass Acquisitions, their ship, which is crashed here. And after everything that happened, it was 2 full sessions. They spent a session getting here, and then they spent the following session exploring it, which that map still exists, I believe, in some form here. So if you haven't seen that episode, spoilers, I suppose, we will be spoiling stuff that has already happened and stuff that will potentially happen as well. So bear that in mind if you're trying to avoid that. And this is what it looks like. This is quite a lot. Now, this is still going to be explorable in the future for other players. I went a little crazy with building this out. There's still a lot of notes kicking around here. We've still got some bugs kicking around here that are kind of like secured in this area, and the players may or may not want to do something about it. But as far as the players are concerned, they didn't tell anybody about this. They took some notes, they captured some things, but otherwise, a lot of the files here, some files they found, some files they destroyed, some items they took, other gear that they left behind. So if somebody were to come through here, it'll be modified, it'll be changed a little bit. But they opted, because of the value of this wreckage, not to tell anybody about it. This coming week, I'm believing the players are actually going to explore the turret that'll be coming up. And that involves a much smaller map, although this is take some time. I've started messing out with the foreground as well, so we have like pipes above to make it look a little more dramatic for the players. But that's going to involve exploring this very small, well, comparatively small facility. None of the stuff off of here they'll be able to see. Anything out of these lines, these bounds, has actually been blurred out from their side of view, which will make things a little easier. I will have to change these up. These are not the characters that are going to be showing up, but we'll change that later. But we got some files here that we made. We got some enemies that are potentially just doing their thing. And I have some options that are going to happen here, depending on how successful they are in deactivating this thing that they're going to have to deactivate. But this is an ancient turret that they're going to be exploring the sub-facility of, with a certain Dr. Caleb Cook, I think is her name. I can't actually remember off the top of my head. That's okay. This information is going to be kind of a lot. Okay, so anyway, let's go to the regional map, and we're going to try to remember. So that was what they did in episodes 11 and 12. Episode 10, let's see, the note here, if you go to the KR Compares YouTube page, Apex Predators Mercs continue to get pulled into factional intrigue this episode as they attempt to extricate a mole from Apex while also running jobs for Neogen. Okay, so they may have added a road. And so that's the first thing. They did. They did, in fact, add, looks like 2 roads, actually. I'm gonna assume that means that there's 2 roads added. So we're going to go ahead and do that really quick, is update these roads here. And then we're going to double check our notes to make sure that the factions are doing exactly what they're supposed to do. So first things first, update these, because this updates every month. So we're just going to connect these 3. So I have some roads kicking around on the art section here. Let's see. This is the base file that I uploaded for the ship layout, which I might actually keep in the future for other the other factions, if in case I need to go through the holes or whatever, but they probably don't need to. Okay. All right, we have, I think is it under map markers? It is not. These are all map markers that I've made. Bottom maps, exteriors. This is just random crap. Interiors, I could probably just search for road. Let's see here. Number tokens, characters. Let's just say road. See if this gets us anything. Marketplace purchases. Yeah, we purchased them. Of course we did. Okay, cool. So we're going to go to the map layer. And, truthfully, there's probably a better way to have done this. I added a lot of assets to this. You can actually see the seams of where these are actually like that. I probably could have stretched these out a lot more, but yeah, it's not a big deal. Plus, it also made it really interesting to have these perfectly aligned. It was kind of a pain in the ass, though, to be clear. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. So let's go with a split. If there is a split, there might not be I don't know if this actually split. This is the first time we're actually splitting a road. Yeah, that could work. Or perhaps this one. We're going to zoom right in on this. And we're going to rotate this here. I think this is what we're going to want to do. This is approximately what we're, yeah, that's actually the right width. And we're going to stretch it this way. We're going to remove this one, or actually, we're just going to move this one for now. We're going to put this one here. Ooh, that doesn't actually look good, though, does it? Put that here. And take this one. I'm just going to move this right here, I guess. That's, you know, it's got some seams, but I actually don't think that really matters. Let's go ahead and duplicate this one here. I'm going to shrink this one down. It should only be about 2 wide. We're going to go diagonally this way, and it should be, it doesn't have to actually be perfect. Like, I could spend all day futzing with this. This is as much as I think as I can zoom in here. I could spend all day futzing with this, but I don't think it actually matters. Hold control, or not control, shift. What's the button to hold? Just hold shift. Hold shift. Did I hold shift first? Oh, it's been, stop it. What is it doing? If I hold control? Or is it alt in this case? Oh, it is alt. Okay. You know, you get used to things like the Photoshop controls. And then it's always surprising when something doesn't follow along. Let's go to the layers. We're going to delete this one now. We're going to delete that one now. So now there's a road that travels between the mud pots, which is controlled by Geosphere. And we're going to do one more here. And they've connected a road to the cyborg statue here. This one's a little interesting. This one has a curve. Looks like it splits off in 3 directions. So let's see if we can't mess with that. Yeah, here's one. There's this one that splits off in 3. So let's get rid of, let's go to, oh, let's not do that. Let's go to the map layer. And we're going to want to pull this one out. We're going to delete this one. And we're going to put one kind of like that, actually. We're going to press Alt to kind of customize it. We're going to shrink it down just a little bit. Just sort of match the size. Shrink it down a little bit more. And I think we might actually grab this one, pull to the front, and then bring this one to the front as well. That actually was a bad idea. It's better that way. That's fine. Okay. We will copy this one just for the hell of it. Make it easier. Don't do that. All right, we're going to rotate this one. This one is very stretched. Why is this one so stretched? Let's just go with a, this is 3 hexes, it says. Let's see, if we rotate this one this way, bring it here, we should be able to extend it this way, holding Alt, and we'll just make some very slight adjustments. Right there. And there you go. Roads are done. We can zoom out. There we go. And now we have some roads. So that takes care of these 2 things. And we'll make sure that we delete from the token layers, which is where the players draw. We'll delete that one as well. So now we have roads leading around, which is kind of cool. Like, this is actually starting to develop pretty nicely, which is exciting. Okay. I want to double check to make sure that I've added all of the stuff here that we need to. I'm pretty sure I did. Silver deposit from episode 13 that they discovered went to, it looks like, BPC. So as long as BPC has a silver deposit, info, yeah, so they have silver deposit data. Okay. Location, home, Apex. All right, so Apex also has the location of home, which was information that was sold to them by Skeeter Barker. So location data, home. Yep, they know where home is. And that's going to be a problem for them, depending on how quickly they move. And by which I mean who gets to go first, either Apex or the other guys. So, okay. I think that basically takes care of it. We do also have the... Where is it? We have our calendar as well, which we can keep track of. So, Party 10, this is episode 10. Oh, I haven't actually updated this in a while, apparently. Let's double check that. I actually don't know how long it took. So, it was the 1st of May, basically, when this set out. Party 12, I actually do not have their travel time. and I don't remember who was in it. That's my fault. I could always go back and rewatch videos and double check all of everything that happened, but that is so much work. So we're just gonna say this is party 13, P 14, because this is one group. P14 or party 14. This is the 14th episode. Is party 14, whatever they plan on doing. And then also, though, there will be a party 15. So we'll do, is this control enter? Nope. Shift enter. Nope. Alt enter. There it is. P14 and P15. So that's the 14th and 15th episodes respectively. Here, and they're all going to start at the same time because these are 8 different players. Here, our next episode is going to be, we were saying, Wevitt, Steinberg, Nail, and Victorious are going to be there. So, there's an important story elements that are going to be happening here. All right, so first and foremost, we know that's going to be Junio, which is June, of course. Write that down, Junio. Okay, and the other thing we need to keep track of is the factions. These are all the factions, and we have to see who's going in what order. So the best way to do that, once we clear the chat, it's the easiest way to do it. Text and chat options, clear the current chat log, and now we're going to go to our macros, and we've got, I do this every time. Factions, number of factions we have is 11. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, 11. We're going to roll this at least 11 times. We're probably going to get some duplicates, so we'll keep rolling after that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 will do. Okay. There's probably a macro I can make, if I give it some thought, to actually just roll that. Like, roll each one of them and place them all in order. Honestly, I could probably make, like, a little token for each one. I think about it. Select all the tokens, roll for them, and just see where they end up. That would actually be pretty good as well. Give them, like, a 1 to 100 or something special. Anyway, that might be a problem for future Nye. Okay, let's go see these results. All right, we start off with, the Keepers. Interesting. Okay, I don't think they've gone first yet. All right, so we've got the Keepers. We have Frontier. So we do it this way to make sure that the factions kind of each get, like, it's kind of random which faction gets to go first. We got a duplicate with the Frontier. We got a duplicate with the Frontier again. We got Lost and Biopulse. The Lost and Biopulse. Biopulse again. Neogen. We've got a Biopulse again. Keepers again. The Kensi, which is Home. We'll say Home. All right, so it looks like Home is going before Apex for sure. Home, Neogen, Apex, and Paydirt. Okay, so we've got Apex and Paydirt. We are missing 3 of them, and that was actually a surprising number of duplicates this time. We don't usually get that many duplicates. Clear the log and do it again. Do like 6. Why not? Faction turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Lost, Neogen, Biopulse, Frontier, Kensi, Silverlight is next. We're missing 2 factions, and we only need one of them to pop up because the other one, whatever remains, even if only one of them pops up, the other one will be last. So I don't need to see it. So we'll go here. We'll clear the chat log. Just make sure we're not clear current chat log. And we'll roll this a couple more times. Apex, Kensi, Apex, Geosphere is one of them that we're missing. And we got Frontier Society, which is a duplicate, which means we just need to find out which one is missing, and we can get back to it. Where are we looking? Radio faction turn. Oh, I didn't need to do that. I just click this. Oh, it's right in front of my face. Okay, Frontier, Paydirt, Silverlight, Biopulse, Geosphere, Neogen, Dynamico is last. That's who we're missing. Dynamico. Always double check your work. Keepers, Frontier, The Lost, Biopulse, Neogen, Home, Apex, Paydirt, Silverlight, Geosphere, Dynamico. That's 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Perfect. Okay, so we have all the orders, the turn that we're going to be doing that in for this episode. So, of course, we've got our faction tracker here as well. So, the exchange really doesn't get turns. I probably should do something about that, but they used to get turns. But I haven't done anything with them. I wonder, is there a reason? I can always make them go last. If I really want to, we could say 12, make it the exchange. Which might be useful because our newest character, Wevitt, is represented by the exchange. My best description for what this character is a news anchor, a shitty news anchor. If that news anchor is also a fan of miniguns and anti-vehicle weapons. Okay. Let's see now. So first up, we've got the Keepers. Now the Keepers, you recall, is a AI-controlled faction that is all about preserving human life. So let's see about this. Most recently, what do they have? Well, actually, before we do that, we have to actually calculate the power. Let me adjust my camera here a little bit. Okay, so they are that's not the right one. The Keepers are a feudalism. What am I wrote? Supreme. Because they have a supreme leader? I don't know. But they're kind of feudalistic. This is like if Swahili language and culture met Arthurian culture. Okay. So the only agent they have is the lady currently. Their assets include all of these. So let's add up the power and how much which they're getting, what it costs. So we've got +2 power and -1 for maintaining their Grail Knights. So we're going to keep track of each one of these. I'm going to set this aside here. Set this turn order aside, and I can then start taking notes about what these are doing. And that's going to form the next news section. So we'll start with keep. This thing likes to do that lately. This is going to adjust see for the Keepers. All right. And that's going to be, let's see, they've got a +3, -1. So that's going to give them a +2, which is going to be bringing them up to 9, which is not enough to increase the training cap here. So this has not been acquired. Okay. So they've got Grail Knights. They have 2 comms towers, and they have some security defense drones that are kind of located in the sanctuary. Now, the real question is, what do they want to do? And their whole thing is protecting human life. They don't want to spend human life as much as possible. We know that home is located far. We've got home over here, or for the time being, it's over here. We have Paydirt over here, which the party sort of discovered, but I guess Paydirt could, let's see. And we have Oh, the Keepers are located there. And, I could just put pressure. This could be fun. And then we also have the Lost down here. We could just keep putting pressure on the players. Like, say that, like, look, a couple of beacons are going dark. Like, they could just take their 3rd beacon. For the time being, they just want to learn everything that they can. With them being in range here now, they're not really in range of anything useful. The oil field, the players never actually helped the oil field out. So now this one is actually overrun. It's been overrun with enemies. They lost control of this one. I'm thinking, and they don't know that the crash site exists here. You know what? I'm just gonna keep it simple. I think I'm just gonna let's see. Go to I believe is it the 4-layer? What's it say? Probe launch by the exchange. Probe launch by the exchange. Okay, so let's look at the details on this. It is pinkish, 38 miles in a circle. Same thing here. We'll just adjust this so it's pinkish. Oh God, which pinkish was it? We'll say 38 miles in a circle. But I need to know what color this is. Oh, it's actually darker than I thought. It's like red. Yeah. E06666666. Oh, it's that one. I see. Okay. I'm gonna make sure we get the color right. So it's gonna be this one, E066. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So the keepers just claim a third beacon. Okay, and there's one. All right, we'll move on to number 2 in a moment. So they're just going to gather information. They're going to gather power, and they're going to. Oh, we don't need that. What we do need is this. Gather power, and this is going to give them. Let's see. If we have another comms tower, that's going to be +1 power per turn. Okay, and that's in the wilds. All right, nice and simple. They've gathered every beacon that they can, and I think with all 3 of these now, like going dark, that's going to put pressure on the players. At least, if not for the next episode, certainly for the episode after, and the episode after that even. So, with 2 completely different parties going back to back, assuming that they both don't take like 2 or 3 or 4 weeks to do their jobs, which they almost certainly won't. We'll see. It could be 3, 4, even 5 episodes before we see another GM turn. Okay, that takes care of that. Keepers. Next up, we have Frontier. Frontier, the food, water mafiosos, the Italians. Okay, so Frontier Society. They're doing reasonably well. +4 power, -1 is going to give them a +3. That's going to be a 12. So I'm going to circle their power as well. I'll say that they're like the keepers we said were, I believe, 9. That's going to affect their discounts and things. Frontier is a 12 power. Oh, I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to say it takes power to capture the thing. So we're going to reduce actually that to an 8. So where is it? The keeper's power is actually 8. It takes power to do the thing. But the idea is that it's going to be long-term bonuses. I don't know if I've been doing this. The rules have been kind of changing, kind of loosey-goosey on this, but the idea is basically the same. Okay, so they're going to spend a power. They'll bring up to 11. So Frontier, actually, we'll have to confirm this towards the end of it. Is 11? No, because I haven't done anything. 12. What am I doing? Oh, they're not capturing anything yet. All right, so that's the total of the power. 12. All right, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. Oh, redo, please. Okay, so they're up to 12. Let's see. They have a location data for natural gas. And preferred asset is their new ability. Training cap. We're going to copy this. I'm going to paste this right here, just like that. Because now they've unlocked training cap level 2. So I'm going to use a different color marker for this to indicate that, because that's actually really important. I need to make sure I reflect that on the training stuff. So call it TCAP. +1. Okay, so training cap goes up, and that's how we'll do this going forward. They also have, I don't believe we have any assets, any samples yet. Samples collected? No, they don't have any samples or anything. Frontier Society has collected 5 samples. So I'm going to say yes to this as well. We're going to copy this, and we're going to move this here. So what that's going to do is, I used to make the players pay for this, but I think it's more interesting if it just happens automatically. We're going to say that the first one usually costs 5, so we're going to bring this back down to 0. So they've used the samples that were given to them to, let's see, what, +1 to physical, mental, or evasion save. Or we could do it to +3, or then once auto succeed a physical, mental, or evasion save. Okay. And so not only do they do that, but they also add, and I have to see what I called it. This is kind of important. I believe it's under the job board. Oh God, I hate I hate when it pulls up all the pages like this. I actually have a preference for single pages like that. That is a strong preference of mine. But I don't want the pages to blend into one long strip. I actually want the pages separate. It's just personal preferences. Okay, so this is for Frontier. Let's see. Oh, tailored treatment. 1. A tailored treatment center. Okay, so +1 for this, and we'll say treatment center is also active. So that will allow the players to add a +1 to any physical, mental, or evasion saves that they make in the future. Which, you never know, could be useful. And I'll say that they can even roll that. They can add that after the fact, just to be generous, whatever, if I want with the players. Okay. Now the question is, so Frontier built that, but that's just part of it. That's like already at their location. They just made the facilities available, and they had enough research and things to be able to do it. Like we have enough data from mushrooms and animal samples and stuff that we can actually give you better foods and maybe like preemptive whatever, something that's going to help you function physically better. Maybe it's a better mix of nutrients or whatever the deal might be. So trade deal with they have a trade deal with Geosphere. Okay, that's pretty good. They have location data for a natural gas deposit. So let's see where that natural gas deposit is. I can zoom in. Natural gas deposit. That's the only location data they do actually have. And they do want, their whole thing is controlling access to stuff. So let's see. Where is the natural gas? Here's the natural gas deposit. Oh, I didn't actually give it a symbol. I should probably do that. I think I have one here. Kicking around. Let's see. It will just say that they set up a natural gas deposit. That's going to be an easy one. So the natural gas deposit is going to look like, and we'll hide this now. We don't need this. The natural gas deposit. Hide those. Get rid of that. And map markers. I think I had one for gas deposit. Gemstone, geothermal, sulfuric steam vents, mud, oil, natural gas field. Okay, we'll move this here. It's in the foreground. So we'll move this. We'll call it a natural gas. Gas field. And it's controlled by, what's it called? Frontier. Nice and easy. No wars happening. They don't need to fight yet. Although they could reasonably set up some trade routes now that they're starting to control more of the resources. So that'll give them a +1, but they're going to have to spend a point to get it. So we'll say like they spend 1 turn, or they have spent 1 turn. So we'll remove the location data from the natural deposit, and we'll say they have a natural gas field. And we'll even call this industry. Oops, industry. They have another industry of natural gas. This is going to give them +1 power per turn. That's out in the wilds, of course. Okay, and I believe that's it. We're going to reduce their power by 1 to 11, and they're all set. Excellent. Treatment center, and then plus natural gas. Yep, yeah, that's going to be a big one for them. So, all right, number 3. Frontiers down. We've got the Lost. The Lost, I think, is not interested in being found, obviously. But let's see how close they are to being detected. Just on the fringes. They've set up a fishing port here. The players don't know these characters exist. There's really nothing. The players haven't had a reason to come down here necessarily. I imagine if the players thought to come down here, they probably would avoid the river. To be honest, they have never traveled this far south. They've gotten pretty close with the Apex drone comms, but they haven't actually traveled this far south. So, if they were to come directly from Conclave, they'd probably travel this way, and they would probably miss the river. Otherwise, they could potentially travel here, bump into it, which is kind of what happened previously. One of the groups on their way to this beacon here to find out what happened, and they found out this beacon was in fact destroyed. They bumped into this place. They actually landed right on it, which is kind of what I was hoping for. That's as a GM, you do want the players to kind of like find stuff. Now that this is active here, there's a chance. I think I don't know if these guys are using radio frequencies. But I feel like, can I see? I need a better color for this, actually. Let's actually change that color, because you can't really see it. Oh, it's hidden, isn't it? That might be why I can't see it. If I change this to the foreground, oh, now you can see it. Okay, so let's just go to the foreground. That's the map layer. Foreground layer. I kind of wish this was organized. We have tokens, GM, map, for light, and I kind of wish it was organized in a way that makes sense in order. Map, tokens, for GM, light, or reversed. It's all kind of out of order. Anyway. All right, change the layer back to the GM layer so nobody can see this. Okay, but that explains why I can't see the aura around it. I think they're avoiding using radios as much as possible. I think they've probably seen the ships making planetfall. I think they're, I guess how far away can you see the space shuttle? Let's find out. How far away can you see a space shuttle launch? Under ideal conditions, space shuttle launch could be seen from up to 520 statute miles, about 837 kilometers. Orlando area. The Apollo 17 launch was at night and was visible from as far away as Miami, Florida. Would they even know that these people exist? It's possible. 500 miles? I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, that's well within range, I think. Especially like 8 or 9 of these things. One going down here, one crashing over here, one crashing over here. All these beacons going off. Yeah, there's no way they don't know. They know stuff is happening. Okay. So they're definitely maintaining some kind of radio silence might not be the right word, but they're going to maintain some kind of quiet. So let's see what assets they currently have available. Okay. The Lost currently has. Oh, I called it Roanoke. Of course I did. Farm bots. They have a fishing port. And they have scavengers, and they also spend one time on small boats, like little military boats, to help like defend themselves. Maybe they push. Maybe they do something really crazy. All right, so let's see. They have +2, +3, -1 is going to be +2. That brings them to an 8 in power. Okay, so the Lost, I think I know exactly what they're going to do. They're going to isolate. They saw some stuff, and they're going to isolate even further. They're going to move further away. And they're going to move to. What am I doing? They have this fishing boat. Oh, this could be interesting. Do they leave the safety of these shallows to establish a small colony over here? What language do they speak? These guys speak. Cherokee, huh? Cherokee, historic Cherokee settlements. Tennessee, just call it Tennessee. Chattanooga, land of the noonday sun. Let's see, historic Cherokee names. The reason we actually went with Cherokee is because that's one of our players, Spitch Sunshine, does actually speak Cherokee. Cherokee settlements. Native and alternate names. Oh my god. Oh, yeah, you got to make sure I can pronounce these as well. Jestawee. Black Fox. Chota. Sitiko Old Town, Satapo. Setaku Sitiko. Sitiku Coyote. Oh, just call Coyote. Long Island on the Holston. What is Long Island on the Holston? Island, Holston River, Kingsport of East Tennessee. I mean, I guess that makes sense. On the Holston. Tokwa, Dakwayi. Probably saying that super wrong. Tuskegee, Kanugi, Kanugwa Town. I'm probably saying this super wrong. So apologies if anybody speaks Cherokee. I have Seneca. Seneca Old Town. Isanigu. Was a Cherokee town on the Caribbean, as I said. During colonial period, it was classified as English traders and colonists as one of the Cherokee lower towns. Geographical grouping that included Piedmont towns along with Kiowa River and southwestern South Carolina. That could work. I don't know if that's the term Old Town, though. I'm trying to avoid using, let's see. Brasstown? Oh, it doesn't have a... Kituwa. It's a woodland period, Oh, it was a woodland period. What is a woodland period? It's classified archaeological cultures of North America. The woodland period of North American pre-Columbian culture spanned a period of roughly 1000 BCE to European contact in the eastern part of the North America. Okay. Cherokee lost control of the site to the United States in the early 19th century. Okay, interesting. They identify Kituwa as one of the 7 mother towns in their traditional homeland of the American Southeast. Kituwa. I could do that. Native and alternate names. Okay. Let's go with Kituwa. That actually sounds fun. I should get the spelling right. Where is this? Turkeytown was one. Where was it? I just lost it. Oh, Sugartown. That's fun. Newtown. Where the hell? Hightower. Head of Kusa. I just had a Kituwa. Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm just going to copy this. So that's going to be easier. Okay. So I think that's actually what they're going to do. They're going to take they have boats, and I think they're going to take their boats, and they're going to move to the sea. Who knows? I mean, these guys might actually become like, I put this here, and I had no reason for the players to really explore this. Like, why are they going to make boats? I'm just going to make this like geographically interesting. But this could be kind of interesting if they do become like a reasonably powerful seafaring nation. Like they've said, like, all right, this isn't working. Let's get further to the we are pushed as far as we can go. I mean, in theory, they could just travel south, but this is kind of where the map ends. So we'll do something interesting and say like they're going to push further. And they're going to become like a seafaring, and who knows? They could very well become like one of those, uncontacted tribe sorts where they like, just they're super aggressive to anybody that comes here. So let's go ahead and put on the GM layer here. Let's add another one of the. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's do a separate. Yeah, let's do a separate one of these. Here we go. Okay. Let's say they come like inland here, and they make a new. This is kind of beachy. Should I put it like here? Should I put it near the beach? You know, maybe we'll put it here. Maybe like juts out on like a plateau or something. Let's say it like juts into a plateau. That could be kind of fun. And we're going to add a nameplate. We're going to call it this. Kitua Gidu. I'm not going to try. There. We'll do that. This one does also have, let's see, it is 7F6000. 7F6000. Okay. At 19 miles. So we'll give them the same thing here. Just their general visual radius, 19 miles. And it's going to be a circle. And so now we can see, bam. And so now they kind of have two towns. They have like two sort of home bases, which we've never seen before. And I think this is going to be a little expensive. This is going to take some work. They're taking their fishing boats. They're loading up what they can. I don't think they're fully relocating this town. I think they're founding a new. Maybe the population grew and they're founding a new town. That's going to weaken them a little bit. I think to split their population. So I'm going to say in this instance, and this is actually a really fun one for me. I actually do really like this as a concept. I'm going to close this calendar. We don't need the calendar. Okay, and we're going to say this is going to cost them a good bit. So the current power is 8. We're gonna drop this. We're gonna drop this to like a 6. We're gonna say it costs them more power. There. And I want to add. This is new. Agents. God, I want to call it something else. Let's highlight this. Let's actually Control C. And we'll paste the values here instead. Oh, for fuck's sake. Can't paste here because copy and paste here aren't the same area. Aren't the same size. Let's actually do this then. And we'll paste just the values. Oh. Can't paste here because the copy and paste here are the same size. Aren't the same size? Sure about that? Can I not just do this? Can I just like, what if I just do this? What if I just cut and I just paste? Okay, well, never mind. You know what I can do is just copy this, and we can just put this here, and we'll just relocate it. We'll put, place the, oh my God. Okay, you know what? Fine, we'll just do it this way. We'll just type in industry. We'll just copy it over. Farm bots. Farm bots, this is +1. Power, this will automatically fill. That doesn't cost anything. This is in Roanoke. Okay, cool. And now, so we can delete these. And we're going to highlight this one to make this one a little bit more important. So we're going to say, of course, you're not going to let me. Kitawa, let's see. I'll say second base, and we'll call it Kituwa. And we're going to color this slightly different too. Their color's white, which doesn't actually really help me here. So we'll just find a new color that's similar to white. Maybe just a little hint. This is actually not dissimilar from Silverlight either, actually. We'll just call this, it's hard to call it second base. It doesn't take anything to maintain, and the location is Kituwa is the location. It's located in itself. Okay. And that's going to be super interesting. Is that going to give them a functionally second turn? I don't think so. But maybe as a second base, we don't have rules for a second base yet. But maybe, second base, or maybe even call it like a town, village. Let's call it a village. They've set up a new village. So now they can actually base assets out of this, right? They've got like the fishing port out in the wilds. They've got the military small boats out in the wilds. So maybe now we could do something like set up a rule for them where it's like, maybe this will add, say, a power per turn, +1. Or, I mean, really all it is it gives them a fallback plan. Like if their village, if their main location, everything else gets destroyed, they still exist. So maybe giving them additional power is actually not a good idea. I don't think they want to grow too large either. What would they do with this? Maybe that's it. Maybe that's all there is to it. So the lost, they just say like establish new village, right? Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards these guys becoming like weird, like not pirates, but like seafaring native folk, seafaring Cherokees is kind of cool. And I think they're going to be depending on God. First contact is going to be the really interesting thing. How aggressive they feel towards newcomers is going to be very heavily dependent on how the players approach them. I think more so than home. Home plays up like the native thing in a way, sort of on its own. But they were outwardly more. I mean, they were fairly aggressive, but easily swayed. I think these guys are going to depend very heavily on the players to see how they behave. Okay, let's get rid of the lost. And it depends if the players find them first. They might not. At the rate things are going, it very well could be the keepers find them first. And that, I think, is one of the issues. I think, like, maybe hundreds of years have passed, but I think the name of the lady or whatever, like, might still resonate with them. And so, therefore, they're still, like, apprehensive. Maybe I could see the lost and the keepers getting into a fight, for sure. Okay. Next up, we're going to go... All right, finally, we're doing some classic stuff here. Turn 4, we are looking at Biopulse. This one's been interesting. I have to rewrite so I have to leave a couple notes for myself. So 2 things we have to do. We have to, let's see, update. So far, we have to update... let's see, I'll say conclave locations. So things like treatment, Frontier Treatment Center. We need to update the faction power / discounts. And we need to update the jobs. We need to update the downtime activities. And we'll need one more thing. So the downtime activities, because that's going to change now that there's a treatment center. And we need to update the blurbs, the faction blurbs. Because I have actually not updated. I forgot to do that. We have not updated the details about Biopulse because it is now officially an autocracy, for sure. It is an autocracy that is currently controlled by a gentleman, individual, by the name of VJ Campbell, the CEO in the 60s. He's suspicious and he's imposing. Now, the question is, what do these guys want? Their power is very limited right now. Right now, they are maintaining assets. We're going to call him VJ, because I think I didn't actually call him VJ Campbell. So he's the big head boss guy. Okay, so they're spending, they're gaining 4 per turn. They're spending 2 per turn. So the demagogue is a big deal. If they lose the demagogue, that very well could be the end of Biopulse. So he is a huge deal here for this company, especially given that it's just recently changed to an autocracy. So they gain 2 per turn. So these guys are finally starting to bounce back, which is nice for them. Valencia Chen, Cyber Ninja. We just know about her. We don't know anything else about her. So they have a medical facility that they've established. They've got security guards, they've got comm towers, and they've got cyber ninjas. What does he want to do? Does he like the idea of having cyber ninjas? Or does, they very well could dissolve the cyber ninjas to save even more money. Just focus on... If they want to present themselves more positively, but do they they don't have to tell anybody that cyber ninjas are gone either. It's not like people are just gonna know. Do they want to maintain that? Will they fall back to the guards? Get rid of the cyber ninjas. They're an unnecessary expense, and they were unsuccessful previously. That's the thing that they could do, is just get rid of the cyber ninjas. All right, should I make a roll for this? Should this be our first roll of the day? I mean, the first proper roll of the day? Let's go with... Oh, let's do 2d6. That doesn't make sense. 1d6. On a 3, 4, 5, or 6, I would say they stay. If not, they're going to make a big change. Okay, they stay. Cyber Ninjas will stay. So in that case, if he decides to keep the Cyber Ninjas for a little while, what would Biopulse's interest be? Their military has not worked. Oh, they have the data on the silver deposit. Do they care about the silver deposit? They can sell the silver deposit data. Who would want the silver deposit data? Neogen could want the silver deposit data. Maybe they'll do that. Maybe just sell it to them. Civil engineering power, not Neogen. Dynamico. They can't really afford it though. Oh, they have a copper deposit, +1, +1, +1. God, that's gonna hurt them. Oil fields, copper fields. Who would want a silver deposit? Or maybe they help someone else out. They don't have a good relationship. Let's see. If I'm remembering from last time, Apex had our boy, what's his name? Vinny. They tried to give it to Biopulse. They failed. They got intercepted. Biopulse tried to get information on Frontier. That failed. So these guys are not in good standing. And I don't think Biopulse and Apex are kind of getting along necessarily. Do any of these other ones have stuff that they want? Is the question. Let's see. What could they possibly want? Will they trade assets? They could just trade assets. Junction some kind of offer. Dynamico is the only one that really wants anything. Dynamico would definitely want the silver. But they really don't have anything to bargain with yet. And next turn, they will only gain... They have APCs. They'll only gain 1 power. And I would probably charge them at least... They have oil fields to power their vehicles. They have copper, which they can process. And they have just a general chemical plant. I mean, it's probably going to help in the long run. Okay. Here's what we're doing. This is only temporary. We're going to drop Dynamico to 0. They have no power. They can't sit there, though. That's going to be bad. We're going to give them the location data of a silver deposit. They're going to sell it. They're going to gain... do I want to do that? 2 power? That's a lot. That's a big trade. Let's just give them 1. They're going to take 1 because they still have to set it up. Biopulse is going to get a 4. They're going to cut this, and we'll give it to Dynamico. Okay. So Biopulse sells silver rights to Dynamico. Okay. Dynamico's not doing well, but this will give them an edge up. I think Dynamico's thinking long-term as well. The Korean military dictatorship, they want to utilize their power, but for the time being, they need to establish themselves a little bit well. So, okay, we'll come back to them in a minute. So they no longer have that, but that gives them additional power. So they jump from, let's see, they had a 1 to start with. They gain 2, which brings to 3. Then they gain 1 more for 4. Okay. So they instigate some trades. That doesn't feel like enough. You know, if I do just get rid of the Cyber Ninjas, What? Oh, they're not. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay. We'll just get, like, say we just do get rid of the cyber ninjas. He just gets rid of them entirely. Just, yep. He's like, the cyber ninjas were a failure. Get rid of them. That's his thing. We'll keep the security guards for the time being. Our interest is not in that. We're going to establish good faith. So next turn we'll start like regaining the power. So like they've maintained for the past month how much it's going to cost for them to have the cyber ninjas. But this is what they're doing over the next month, right? So if they decide to cut these guys, it's not going to cost them any power. So if they get rid of that, I guess the question is, how do these turns work? We start with calculating the power and then we make moves. So maybe that's what it was. That's what was owed for having played it. So next turn they'll have level 5. As much as I want to give them like training cap level 1 here, I think it's better that we just do it this way. So Dembagog comes through. He consolidates the power among all the merchant houses. And then his first, after doing all that, several weeks of consolidating power, he says, to the teams, like, all right, first things first, we're going to remove the cyber ninjas as a thing. You guys spent a lot of money establishing this. They were completely unsuccessful. Basically, it was a trial run, right? We set up the cyber ninjas. They're out of freezy, out of cold storage. They are, they were put on their first mission. We spent a lot of money on these guys. They failed pretty horrifically. We're going to do away with the cyber ninja program for the time being. We're going to focus just on consolidating power. And in part of that, they're going to take. Somebody sold them location data. The players gave them location data. So they're like, screw that. We don't need a silver mine. We could set it up, but it doesn't really matter for us right now. We'll take the immediate payoff. So rather than spend one and require 2 more months before we get a payoff from that, they're going to sell it to Dynamico for the 1 power. I think that's a fair trade, probably. And then these guys are going to have to. It's going to be 2 months before these guys get it, because I'll spend a power to have purchased this. I'll have to spend another power to actually set it up. And then it means from there's going to be 2 months before they can actually do anything with it. Okay. I think that works. Okay, so they sell the rights to Dynamico, and they say they end the Cyber Ninja program. And I think also that Cyber Ninja program, that's not something they're just announcing. Oh, by the way, we got rid of our Cyber Ninjas. It's totally cool. Like, that's the whole point, is that nobody knows that they exist. So as far as anyone's concerned, these things only existed for like a month or 2. It was a really bad move. On whoever was in charge, actually, it was Clara. Clara was in charge. And we haven't seen the end of Clara, I think. I have some ideas about what happened to her. I don't think she was just off and killed. That's too easy. And I don't think that's Biopulse's move necessarily. Although she is a loose end. She will be a loose end. All right. Turn number, or faction number 5 is going to be Neogen. Now, what does Neogen want? Neogen currently has, let's see, 1 power, 2, 3 from the power systems, the system tax, and the platinum deposit. Okay, and these guys do civil engineering, power, sanitation. Okay, so let's say power, defense, power. Let's go with 1, 2, 3, and they lose 1 for having the Union Toughs. So +2, that's going to bring them to a 7. All right, they still got a training cap of 1, so that's good. Now, what would they possibly do? They're here to collect money. They control power. They don't have a bad relationship with Frontier Society. I don't believe. I don't think there's any reason why they would. And again, this is something that doesn't need to be there. This is something that we would. I should find a way to keep track of. Is like the animosities they have towards each other, like their relationships. That's a pain in the ass. Okay. Oh, I have to double check their samples. Oh, actually, this is important too. Biopulse. They've got another thing going on. And this is going to be a red pen button, a red pen note. Biopulse. Player's health drops to 1, so we're gonna reduce this by 10. So it's gonna be a 1. The triage center has been upgraded further. So maybe that's the other major thing. So it doesn't feel like they did a lot. They sold a thing, removed a thing, and now the triage center is up to a triage center 2. Okay. Triage center. Players will auto stabilize at 0 health, or just auto stabilize if they get knocked down. Yeah. Okay. But they have to choose this as a downtime activity, so that's going to be important to note as well. Okay, that's a big deal. So that's going to feel like, yeah, you know what, this guy, that's actually going to look really good. This guy swept in. He did the thing that upper management does when there's been a shift in management, right? He consolidates power for himself. He gets people on the side, and then he makes there's three big things that happen. You know, he cuts this program to save money. He sells off an asset that the company doesn't need, and he sets up this like he improves the triage center, which is really the focus of what BioPulse Combine does. This is awesome. This is exactly what BioPulse should be doing, and it's what you expect out of a new leader when the company's going to shit. So that's actually perfect. Okay. Next up, we said was going to be Neogen. Let's go ahead and add that. I should probably do these in different colors just so it's easier to keep track. Oops. Do I have a blue pen? I don't think I have a blue pen. I thought I had a blue pen. I have a purple pen. There we go. We can just do this. Purple pen, we'll say Neogen. There we go. Got so many pens here. I love, this is a holdover from when I would be the assistant director on movies, is using all these different colored pens and highlighters to help take notes and mark my scripts. Okay. Neogen is civil engineering, power, sanitation. Okay, so we already calculated the power. They could set up trade. I mean, what would they trade? They just do power. Military APCs. I mean, they could do something stupid like they set up the power systems, Union Tough, systems tax. What would a power company want? I mean, I don't think they're dissimilar from. I gotta be honest. I feel like Neogen and Frontier could either be friends or enemies in this. I don't think they're going to be like kind of chilling for a while. Especially like these guys want access to everything, but these guys are also just union dudes. So like it's the mafia versus the unions. Oh God, could they do something fun? Could the mafia pay off Neogen to do some shit for them? I don't think Neogen has any problems with anybody yet. Civil engineering, power, sanitation. And these guys don't have any samples to do anything with. I might also have to change the overload mechanics here. I don't really like this. I might do something like you can rent out like drones. That could be fun. Oh, that'd actually be an Apex thing though. These guys have tech and luck save. Maybe I could swap them. We'll see. I have to come up with something different for these guys because that's not really working for me. But I was thinking about like giving players access to drones. But we'll see. What are we gonna give them? Let's see. Neogen, Silverlights got nothing. They're man. Neogen is not bothered, and I don't think anybody's gonna bother Neogen either. They keep the lights on. Right now, they just have Union Toughs. I mean, they could just hold their position. They could secure their position by, let's say they get another. I mean, I almost think they would have two security teams. They've got the Union Toughs, which are like their outward whatever. And maybe like some kind of elite guard. Call it like security. It's not even Union Toughs. This would be something else. System defense. Let's see. Term for power plant security. Primary terms of public security is critical infrastructure security for general utilities, protective forces, or nuclear security for specialized or nuclear sites. Involves physical protection, access control, and cyber defense. Cyber defense could be kind of fun. Security, system defense. I'm calling it security, but maybe like cyber security, which could be like, you know, so this one specifically defense versus attacks. This one could also be a defense versus attacks, or like a tech. Oh god, if I had, I've removed skills and stats from most of these classes, but this is where it gets a little interesting. And I get why Stars Out Numbers faction turn gets as complicated as it does because of things like this. But we'll say this is going to cost them 1 per turn. It's in conclave. And it's let's say it's a 1d6 attack or defense. 1d6 attack or defense. It can be used for both. It's cybersecurity, but they can also go on the offensive if they need to. Or maybe it's like 1d6. Man, actually, you know what? 1d6 defense. Let's see. Here's an idea. And counter tech. So if somebody tries to attack them, they all get countered here. It's also going to make it a lot harder, I think, for players to do anything crazy like get into the Neogen systems or whatever the deal is. Okay, so they set up the cybersecurity sector. So that's, you know, fairly boring as far as news goes, but, you know, cybersecurity professionals, they're there, or maybe like, oh, we're hiring for new cybersecurity. It's like, look to expand the cybersecurity, and it's just like a news article of jobs. So we'll say they establish cybersecurity division. Okay. You know, not exciting, but not every faction is going to be exciting every single time. Neogen's been one of the more boring ones, but that's okay. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Home has to move. They're going to break down their town, and they're going to move. But they're also being tracked. I'm going to have to make a roll. How well do they do? This has to be a roll. So /roll 2d6. I'm going to say -1 because they're being actively tracked. So the chance of them getting a perfect score is pretty bad. On a 6-, they fail horrifically. Something goes wrong with them at Apex, and that's going to affect Apex's turn. But this is because Skeeter ran ahead of the group and gave away the location. He also left his eyeball behind, which is crazy. Okay, so let me double check this. Okay, no passive rolls, Underworld rolls. So in Dungeon World, it's 2d6 rather. Results are split into 3 tiers. 10 plus is success, so it's not 12. Okay, so on a 7 to 9, they're partly successful. On a 6-, they're wildly unsuccessful. And on a 10 plus, they are successful, and there's no complications for them. Here we go. They're hoping for a 10 plus. Ooh, wildly unsuccessful. Okay. Oh no, that's a problem. That is a problem. Do they not get to relocate? Do they leave a bunch of stuff behind? Do they just flee? All right, so no matter what, they're threatened. Do they, on a 1, they lose people and property. On a 2, they lose property. They lose people and property, just property. Or on a 3, they can't just know. Like if they won't just know the location. Um, oh god, I almost think like Apex is going to be like they're going to be like either they're occupied, they lose people and property, or they just like lose property as they flee. This is not going well. And that's going to be 3, 2, 1, or we'll go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Uh, occupied, lose people and property, lose property. So they'll be safer with the higher number. 2. Okay, so that's a nice easy one right in the middle. So they lose people. Apex doesn't catch up to them fully. But they definitely lose people to this. This is going to be home. I should probably cross this one off and use this one. Okay, so they let's see. We'll say caught by Apex. Because Apex, even though it's not their turn, they were absolutely going to act on this. Caught by Apex. They lose people and property. So I think what happens is as the other players they're making their way back, we see like the Apex drones flying in, right, as they are wont to do, keeping track and like scanning the area, watching where the movements are. And meanwhile, what kind of the question is actually what kind of troops does Apex have? Apex has they have drones. They have the hunter killer drones. Yeah, they're gonna claim. Ooh, what are they gonna do with this? Man, they're gonna claim home. I think they're gonna claim home. These guys are gonna basically become nomads. They're I call them a tech. Oh, that's a lost colony. They're tribalists, and they're basically being fled. Man, this is like like the advanced like colonizers come through, see them, and just push them out. They just can't fight. And now they start fleeing. So home is gone, sort of. And we're going to say that they become. Oh, this is going to be really weird. Okay, so they lose a lot. I said they lose like half of whatever they have. Let's roll 2d2. We'll roll 2d2 / roll 2d2. See how much they actually lose. 2. Okay, so they lose 2. They lose 2 power as they leave some stuff behind. So they had to leave people and stuff, or people and places behind. We can close this. I don't need that. Okay. Okay, so how bad does that hurt them? It hurts. It does. It absolutely stings. Okay. So let's see. Industry hunting grounds. Oh, they lose their hunting grounds. Oh, you know what? Maybe before we do that, maybe we say we make the attacks. Hang on. Let's make the attacks. I don't think they were already planning to move. Defense versus attack. We're gonna just say this is gonna be a little weird, but because Apex and them are absolutely interacting, we're gonna make some rolls. Man, these guys are in such a bad place. The hunter killer drones can make the attack. We'll say with supported by whatever manpower that Apex is willing to have, and they can send in people to do whatever. So we'll do a d6. That's how we'll do. We'll do a d6 +1 versus just a d6, I guess. See how bad, like what they actually lose. How scorched is this earth? So / roll 1d6. For the attack, they don't really have much defense versus drones. They really don't. Their tunnels won't help. And their security, God, their defenses really don't work against this. That's the issue. I might still keep the numbers from before. I just want to see. This is trying to help inform me of like how well these guys could be doing. So let's just say this is the attack by the hunter killer drones, we'll say. Not great. Okay, so 2, maybe we'll just do that. Maybe we'll just hold the 2 damage. It's not extremely scorched. They still lose 2, so they drop down to 4. We'll say, the hunters were captured, right? They don't. So these guys don't exist. Oh God, and they just have home. It's so bad. It's so bad. Or maybe the hunters made it, or the hunters held. Did the hunters make it, or did the hunters hold off? Actually, you know what? Here, let's do this. One more roll. Odds, the hunters stayed behind. Evens, the hunters went with the group. Hunters went with the group. Okay, so they still have the hunters. They realized it was a losing fight. They abandoned what they could. They captured some. So whoever they captured the old, they captured the infirm, they captured the slow. But the hunters, the hunters are there. The hunting grounds are lost. And now they're on the move. So this is the only asset that. Wait, what? Oh, for fuck's sake! Does I do it this way? Just do it this way. It is probably way easy. If you guys watch me do this, it's probably an easy way to do this, but that's okay. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so man, culture patch toe. I'm going to, and that's going to give Apex. We'll say Apex gets the 2 power that they damaged him with. We'll say he gets 1 power, so that's going to bring him up to 6. Apex gets data. We'll say that they now just let's see, occupying home, and to continue occupying home, we're gonna have to do something about this. So we'll just put some stuff here, some little doodads. That's gonna let me know that they have to occupy it, which means they have to scramble to put troops there. It's not gonna be cheap, but we'll work on that. Okay. So these guys are gonna go nomadic, which means I have to change the map. And the question is, which direction are they going to flee in? They were there. I think they're going to retreat away from where they saw the stuff coming from. So if we go directly away, it's kind of obvious. Do they want to? They could go for the trees, but they don't really live in the trees, or towards the tree line. They're more of a prairie life, burrowing kind of society. Odds, they go north. Evens, they go south. They go north. Okay. And if it's over the course of a month, they can travel quite far. Say if they travel if it's been, let's say it's 6 days, if they can travel maybe we can travel 6 hexes or something. So, and the party we can actually move the party now. Whoops, what am I doing? There we go. Party on tokens, move the party back this way. That's where the party goes. Home is on the foreground. It's actually we're gonna move this to the that's not the one. Foreground. We're gonna move these guys back to the GM turn. GM, because now they're back to hiding. Okay, so we'll go to the GM layer, and we'll say that these guys move. Let's see. It's 5 hexes. That's 6 hexes. We'll say 10 days. We'll say 10 hexes. They don't travel very far, very fast, but they're able to get out of dodge or something. So let's say they get to the tree line. They're not settled in. And I think what's going to happen is now that they're moving north, they're probably going to go somewhere here. They're going to go deep, deep into the woods. Or maybe they're going to try to go here, which is not a place that they necessarily want to be. But it's going to take them a few turns. So this is now no longer home. This is now the, we're going to call this something else. We're going to call this the Kensi Nomads. I should probably rename. It says home here on the 2-tab. I didn't expect that to become a thing. I probably should rename them. So I'll add that as a thing I have to do is rename. Gonna make a new. We're going to make new icon for home. The Kensi nomads. Okay. That's rough. That's rough. I'm going to add. Oh God! Oh, they're occupying it. Is that going to become like a second base? I got to be honest. I was tossing around the idea of Silverlight going off and doing their own thing, but maybe this is what Apex does. Maybe Apex sets up their own base of operations and they leave. That could be interesting. That'd be suspicious. But that could be this could be the start of them setting up a new base. Interesting. That only took them like 6 months to do too. Okay, so let's grab an icon for what in the hell is it called? This is Apex. That's not what it is. What are we doing? What are you doing? Stop it. Apex. Apex. So we'll set up a new thing right here. We're going to call it home, but it's occupied by Apex. Nameplate. Save these changes. And let's actually just set it to... We'll put it here. Oh, God, do I want to... Let's keep it on the GM layer. We'll keep it on the GM layer for now. And when we get to Apex's turn, which is actually next, we'll see. This is going to be a weird and expensive endeavor for them, but I think it's going to pay off eventually. So we'll see. And they're going to end up getting. They're going to get some weird stuff out of this deal. Okay. That takes care of home, which is now actually called Kensi Nomads. I should probably change that on this list here. The faction turn. I call them Kensi. We're going to call them Kensi Nomads for the time being, unless they happen to settle down. But I think they might just stay Nomads. Who the hell knows? Interesting. Okay. Kensi, of course, is like their species or whatever. Okay. Now we are up to... gotta change this one too. Kensi Nomads. Okay. So they only have their hunters. They're not gaining any power. Oh, maybe they're losing power too as they are traveling. Let's see. Here's what I do. Nomadic life. Power. The value is going to be -1 per turn, so it's going to cost them the more turns they are nomadic. Wilds, and we're just going to call caravan. Caravan. We'll just call it caravan. Maybe we'll give them a movement. We'll say it's like 1d6, 1d6 per turn. 1d6 per turn, or even let's do 2d6. 2d6 per turn movement. And that's what it does. It costs them, but they can actually move. So in this case, we'll actually roll the 2d6 and see how far they get away. That actually makes a lot more sense to me. 2d6. They move 7 away, which is from here. It's going to be right there. Or GM turn. Grab this. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. It's going to be approximately. Where the hell did we say it was? I don't remember where this was. Or I could just do this. Put it over this one, and then that one's going to move. 7. So it's going to be there. They're going to swap there. This one's going to go there. This one's going to go there. This one's going to go up 1. Bam. 7. All right. So this is where they're currently located. So, and I think their ending goal is going to be way up, way away. They are not mountain folk. They want to end up somewhere in this area. Makes a lot of sense. Alternatively, if they're heading south, they probably would have ended up somewhere over here, I think, to get as far away. And then they would have had their own problems as they come face to face with pay dirt. So we will see. But they're fled. But a number of them have still been captured. Like they are. This is a problem for them. This is they were abandoned. I mean, not that they. I think they know this. They sort of abandoned their people. But will they continue to? Will they make a? Ooh, man, will they do something about that? Will they try to take vengeance on Apex? Oh, I don't know. Like they don't have what it takes. We'll see what they do, because now they have a vendetta. Okay. Apex is next. Next page. Or we'll flip this page. I'll just do the next page. I bought a whole bunch of these like super cheap Amazon notebooks or little notepads. They're not bad. If you need cheap notepads, I kind of recommend them. Okay. So next up is Apex. This is going to be number 5, 6. This is turn 7. All right. And we've got Apex. All right. So Apex is gaining. They're losing a power. They lose 2 power. They gain 2 power. So they break even. Okay. These guys are spending a lot, and these guys are taking some crazy risks. They have location data for natural gas. It doesn't matter. They lost it. They lost their natural gas. Somebody else got it first. There's a totem. There's a vehicle bay that they're all very interested in. They just do not have the time. With the Kensi data now, that is way too good. So what do they gain by taking this? It costs them something. They have to expend a lot of effort to do this. I'm going to say they expend another 1, so we'll drop them down to 5. Occupying home. Let's see. So, oh God, they don't have any. Do they have any resources here that they can utilize? Data, information. What would they do with this? Obviously, these guys are going to be made to work. I don't know if we're doing like sweatshop working or that kind of thing here. Oh man, what would they make them do? I mean, like, what did the like what did what did colonizers impose on the subjugated? Colonizers impose foreign political rule, legal systems, administrative boundaries that dismantle local governance. Yep. Forced cultural, linguistic, religious assimilation, often through coercive schooling and suppression of indigenous traditions. Economy, they extracted resources, disrupted self-sustaining local trade, and instituted forced labor or slavery. Yeah, I kind of saw that was coming. Oh, man. I mean, the easy thing is they're occupying homes, so they're going to get some kind of resources from them. And I think this is going to be like, they're not just, it's war, right? In a manner of speaking, they don't just get like, oh, like it's going to be something like it's a little +1. It's like having a resource. So they're getting the labor is sort of free-ish. They're getting some research data. Oh man, maybe they get samples per turn. Okay, occupying home. Value is going to be we'll say +2. I'm going to say +2 power per turn. And maybe +1 samples. +1 samples per turn. Yeah, this is a that's new. +1 samples. Or I could do even like +1 power +2 power +1 samples per turn. There we go. That's how I type it. And this is over. This is in home. They control home. Okay. So they won't get evidence from this. They have no samples now. They will get some. But this is going to be a big deal. I imagine that like they can relocate some of their building and construction. They're not going to be able to transport materials and goods over there, but there's enough that they can probably work with for a little while. So we'll see how I feel about that going forward in the future. So as far as the news is concerned, we'll say that Apex has moved, we'll say just significant manpower and drones eastward. And I'll work that into a news article later. But the idea being, like, people are noticing, oh man, Apex is suddenly like ramping up. They've got the hunter killer drones, they've got the security drones, and all of this is like being used to support this. They don't have physical troops, and they absolutely will not rely on Silverlight to give them physical troops. So they're maintaining it with drones. Maybe that's what the security drones actually move. Oh yeah, that's what we do. We take the security drones and we relocate them to home. Like, yeah. You know what they might even do? They might rebuild the beacon. Actually, they took the beacon parts, so maybe they rebuild the beacon. And then they use the drone tower to keep track of them. Oh, Apex is going evil. Okay. That is, what's the range on this? I think it's 19 miles. GM. Where is it? Foreground, that's what it is. Oh, for God's sakes. Tokens? Map? What level is it? What layer is this? Why am I not selecting this? What the hell? Hold on. Why is this not selecting? Oh, it is a foreground. Okay, that was weird. It is 19 miles. Okay, see, look, I remembered. Okay. So we're going to go to the GM layer for now. We're going to set this to 19 miles. And we'll say that for the time being, and this is maybe why the power comes out, is like they're using these guys, they're going to rebuild, and it's not going to be ready this turn. They're going to rebuild the tower with like whatever they took from here. They're going to be like forcing them to like pick things up, go whatever. And yeah, the people that remain, say like a quarter of the tribe or whatever, the pregnant, whatever the deal was, they're being forced to work. They're rebuilding the beacon in some fashion or another with the help of the drones. But it's also like shoot on sight. Like don't flee. Like I also think that Apex is gonna try to find a way to get like troops on the ground there. God, that's really not their thing though. Unless they come up with mechanical systems. They use what's called expert systems, which are basically robots. Interesting. Okay. So for the time being, they've captured home. I'll also make that note here, but that's not going to make it into the news. Okay. Captured home. That takes care of Apex. Next up, pay dirt. How long will we be going? Hour and 38 minutes. This always takes longer than I thought, but man, I do love this because it is exciting. Some like Neogen fairly boring, but this does make for a really interesting, very dynamic world. And if you haven't tried this, I recommend doing something like this for your own campaigns if you are DMing a campaign. It does make the world feel very lively. And I would recommend even starting with fewer factions than this. This is kind of a lot. Or, if something shows up that could be a faction or whatever the deal is. Let's turn on the air conditioner. It's getting really hot here. Okay. All right. So next up, we said we had pay dirt. Pay dirt is our Russian autocracy. Boss is Yakov. He's gregarious and he's ruthless. They're currently utilizing sharecroppers. They have security brigands, security fortifications, unit forces, future idea, demagogue. They might bring out a demagogue, is something I was considering. So right now they are getting 1 power per turn and they're losing a power. So they gain 1, lose 2, so they lose 1, which means they're down to 1 power. They need they need something. And what I think we're going to do here is they don't like what happened with the exchange taking over this beacon. I think they're going to do something completely different. I think they're going to do sort of what's happening here. I think they're going to destroy and rebuild this beacon. Yeah, we're gonna do that. So we're gonna go to the foreground, and God, because they do need power. What would they? Is that water? That's water, isn't it? Maybe they don't have a lot. Sharecropping, brigands. The brigands cost money. Military, militant enforcers. So they have brigands for security. They have fortifications of like a wall. They have sharecroppers. They're basically like becoming like building like a fort. But they need something. Maybe they just destroy that and make like machine. They don't really make money on the guns though, right? They need a way to like feed and make money. Yeah, they need something because this is hurting. Mutant. Oh, they had mutant enforcers. God, that's gonna run them dry though. They're gonna have a problem too. They train the mutant enforcers, but they haven't really used them. They don't need the enforcers. I don't know what I was thinking with that. We're gonna dismantle these guys. Okay, so 8 for pay dirt. And we're gonna say they dismantle. Oh, you know what? Mutant enforcers. What if they what if they change them? Not from mutant enforcers. They change their job. They're no longer mutant enforcers. They are. We'll call them industry mutant workers. They repurpose them from being enforcers to workers. You know, maybe they're like dealing with the sharecroppers, whatever. But here, this is going to be +1 power turn instead. So they take something that's already exists, and they just repurpose it. Like, you know, originally like, oh, we're gonna there's nothing, like we have stuff for raiding or whatever, but there's nothing to raid or fight. So instead, they're going to be like, maybe these things do function as, you know, some kind of like attack squad if they need to. Maybe like say like a D4 attack. Yeah, I think they're going to double up. That's what it is. But it doesn't actually cost them. They'll if they're not attacking, they're kind of like you know, farmer fighters, whatever. If they need to make an attack, they can. But generally speaking, I think that they're good. Okay. All right. So say they repurpose their enforcers or their mutants. There we go. Okay. Simple, but that's going to help the thing that the problem that they were about to have, which was they were about to run out of powered money. So, and Yakov does not want that. He will not stand for that. Silverlight is next. This could be an interesting one. This is going to be number 9. This is faction turn 9, or whatever you want to call it. This will be Silverlight. A group that I originally thought was going to be like the bad guys of the thing, but the German monarchy. But that is not the case, as it turns out. Silverlight Cooperative. These guys have no samples. These guys have no samples. All right, first things first. We'll start with these guys also have samples, so now we can actually start activating some of this stuff. Okay, so Silverlight first and foremost. Look at their power. For some reason, they gave him a Russian voice. I don't know why. I might just change it to German. I don't think anybody remembers. We'll just make him German. Oh, Frank. He's dead. Drinking's clean solution. Cleaning solution? Drinks cleaning solution. I don't know why I typed that. He's dead. Unfortunately. We will move this up here. Yeah, we killed Frank. You know, we could bring him back. Frank too, like a clone. That's not something Silverlight does, but that would be kind of funny. Let's see. Oh, she's bald. I made her bald. Huh, I didn't realize that. Okay. And she speaks sign. Okay. They have peacekeepers, cyber troopers. They have a comms tower, and they have enforcers. They gain 2, they lose 2, so they break even. However, they do have this. So they have now got the basic. Let's see. So Silverlight gets the plus combat sim. Okay. That's a nice easy one, and we're going to reduce this by 5, so this is going to be a 1 sample. Let's see. They have the date of the turret, so they really, really still want this. They're pushing hard for this. That's what I think the next mission is going to be, is the turret location thing. They need money. Peacekeepers forces comms tower. What else are they getting money? Oh, the peacekeepers are a moneymaker for them, just like the police force. So they probably collect like a tax basically from the exchange. Okay. I mean, they could start manufacturing weapons, supplying weapons. Like, not that they don't already do that, but they could like mass produce like ammunition. And they could do it for a group too. Obviously, they're not going to help Apex. But at the end of the day, Silverlight was always contract mercenaries. We could give him a defense contract. And honestly, with the stuff that happened between Frontier and Biopulse, maybe that's it. Maybe they just pick up a defense contract. Like, you know, to get through Frontier, you got to go through Silverlight. I could also see Frontier putting pressure on Neogen in that way, though. But they don't really need military yet. It would just be like, they have enough of their own. They have security guards. Oh, these guys have some crazy shit going on here too. Geosphere. Does Silverlight want to make a move? Do they want to make a move? With Apex distracted, do they want to make a move? I'm going to roll just a d6. On a 6, they make a move on Apex. Okay. Okay. There's... I did not mean to open this. What is this? Close that. Yeah. This might be the first indication of open war. With Apex being super distracted. Oh, man. All right, let's see how this goes. So this might be the first, like, close to open war that we've got. They've already clashed once out in the field, but this is the first time it's going to be like, oh, this could be interesting. Silverlight's sending their cyber troopers with a 1d6 attack against Apex. Man, Apex doesn't even have defenses right now. The hunter-killer drones, I don't think are going to be especially effective here. Because they're not quite bombers, but like something a little bit more heavy than that. How do I want to roll this? The roll is a 1d6 to see how effective the attack overall is. Not especially. God, they don't really have any defense. I said that they moved their security drones, so they don't have any defenses. The question is, do they know what happened? The more successful they are here with the 2d6 roll, the less Apex and others know. Oh! Okay. It is not secret. Apex takes a hit. I'll say they take 1 hit from this. Oh, man. Apex put everything in. They weren't expecting this, and I think that's it. It's a risky move. What do they lose? They have to lose something. They don't just lose the security drones. Maybe they just take... I could say they take out the hunter-killers. Maybe it's like a... Oh, man. Okay. We'll get rid of these. We'll copy this up. We'll copy this up. And we'll copy this up. We'll delete these. So they lose... Oh, man. Okay, so... Apex, we'll make a note of this one. Say, like... lose hunter-killers. And it's not just that they blow up all the hunter-killer drones or whatever like that. I imagine there's like... They send in these... What are we calling them? We're calling them the... cyber troopers. Silverlights, bombs, blows up, plants explosives. Like, they're not really commando. Well, maybe they're kind of commandos. Just like, what is a command? Like, how is a commando defined? Elite special operations military trained for high risk surprise raids. I mean, it's an elite soldier or special forces. Okay, so I mean, I call them a cyber trooper, so they're basically commandos, cyber commandos, right? So they send in a squad of these guys to do some damage. They don't do a lot of damage. They do a little bit, but they destroy the one thing. Maybe, maybe Apex doesn't actually lose the point. Maybe they still get their, maybe it's still 5. So they don't damage the grand infrastructure. They take out like the landing pads, the fueling stations, whatever they need, the battery charge pack, whatever. They don't gain anything, but they do absolutely, like, that's going to cost them, right? They've lost some attack ability. Security drones are currently defending home, which means that Apex is currently is defenseless. I mean, this is like attacking like your neighbor across the street. Right? These guys are close, but they absolutely, like, there's all kinds of evidence, right? Like with the 3 on a 2d6, they left all kinds of evidence. So we'll say Silverlights. We'll say they bombed. drone landing pads. The bomb drone landing pads, and they destroy the hunter killers. Okay, this is going to blow up in a minute. God, and this is going to be a problem now because Apex they've expanded really quickly and they're moving the military really fast. They have a lot of data available, but now they're split between two because they just opened up a front. They're now split between two fronts. And again, this is something that only happened because Apex went first in the turn order. If not, then Silverlight would have made an entirely different move, but that's not the case here. So, okay, and that's probably going to be it for their turn. It takes. Yeah, Cyber Troopers move on it. That's it. Unless I mean, I technically already made the move. I didn't think about their other asset. Apex also has the comms tower, which provides them with power and presumably would give them like a defense thing too. Maybe that's a better move. Maybe that's a better move. We're gonna retcon this. We're gonna retcon this so they don't lose the hunter killers. So we won't say they lose the hunter killers. Actually, this is a better idea. They're not ready to fight in the town just yet. They're really not. So instead, we'll say, okay. We'll say that Apex makes an attack. So we're gonna 1d6 versus say a 1d6 because it's like a defensive fortification. Specifically, it's a drone thing. So we'll see if the cyber guys are able actually to take this out. So we'll say we're gonna roll a 1d6. This is gonna be the attack from the cyber dudes, from Silverlight, versus the defense. Oh my god, of Apex. Ooh. Oh my god, that's actually way worse. Jesus. That's going to result in a job. Job. The Silverlight troops are being threatened. I think they're like suppressed somewhere in this area. Man. And now there's going to be a decision. Like we've got like a group of like a squad of cyber troopers being pinned down by like Apex drones. Like they fortified or something. Like they've dug in, whatever. Somewhere. Like somewhere within radio range here. Maybe somewhere like within this part here. And they can either support the they can either support the defending Silverlight folk, or they can assault Apex. Like they can choose this. The players can choose a side, and I think depending on how that goes, there's going to be something big is happening. So there's quite literally combat happening here, and I'm going to give the players, rather than just kill off these things from Silverlight, I think I'm going to give the players an opportunity to side with or save one or the other. Okay. All right. So we'll say I can even copy. I think from the foreground, I can copy this. And we'll just call this something else. We'll say like south of here, like in the. We can do something. Yeah, that's fine. It's all the same to me. Okay, and we'll call this Let's see. Troops under fire. Yep. Okay. We'll just do that. Okay. So we're also going to relocate then Silverlight's troops to the wilds and see what happens. Maybe the players save them and these guys come back and this is fine. The players don't save them, but they side with Apex and yeah. But these guys are in a bad spot. These guys are in a real bad spot. Okay. So no matter what happened, it didn't really go well for these guys. It's just man versus technology, and it has not been going well for them. All right, turn number 10 is going to go to Geosphere. These next couple ones should be pretty straightforward. All right, Geosphere is next, and they are going to do what is the question? Geosphere's assets are +1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, and they get 2 actions per turn. Aha! They get 1, 2, 3, 4, and they lose 1, 2, 3, 4. So they break even, but they get 2 actions. 1d2 power loss to target. Because they have marketers, so they can just. Is there anybody that's weakened? Geosphere hasn't really crossed with anybody. Crossed over, like. There's a guy. They have a criminal named Scuzzles for some reason. Oh, these guys, we did give them Silverlight. Did they have anything? Yeah, Silverlight has a combat sim. Yeah, okay, I wrote that down. Geosphere doesn't have enough samples for this. They've got to give them if they want. If the players want reactive armor, they're going to need to give some stuff to Geosphere. Oh, okay, let's see. Man, it's taking longer than I thought, but I'm really enjoying this. Okay, so we're looking at terraforming, geology, and meteorology. You know. Has Dynamico gone yet? Oh, they're last. You know, Geosphere could try to absorb them. +1, +1, +1, -1, -1. Security regulars, military APCs. They got 2 moves they can make. Oh god, these guys have a strong attack. Dynamico. What if Geosphere makes a move against Dynamico? Because their whole thing is chemical engineering, metallurgy, manufacturing, and these guys are terraforming, geology, meteorology. Like these 3, well, especially Dynamic. Like I feel like these 2 could just combine into one. They could just kind of forcefully take it over. All right, and since these guys have a double move, hear me out. Okay, here's the move. Okay, so first thing, there's going to be a marketing campaign that's going to damage Dynamico. No matter what, this is going to be really bad for them. So say a D2 to reduce their power. What gives them the extra turn, I said? The trade deal with Frontiers giving them an extra turn. Okay. Yeah, screw it. Let's just make a roll, shall we? Slash roll 1d2. Okay, so they lose 1. A lot of 1s today. A lot of 1. I mean, that was a 50-50, so that's fine. So these guys lose 1. This actually drops them to 0. So Geosphere has in anti Dynamico. I guess. Marketing campaign. Now that here's the trick. These guys have a copper deposit, the chemical plant, and an oil field. No, they don't. They lost the oil field, didn't they? They don't have the oil field. I think that's wrong. I think they had the oil field and they lost the oil field. Overrun oil field ruins. Yeah, they never. It's Dynamico. Stone Quarry for Geosphere. Oh, these guys might just not stand a chance. Yeah, they don't even have the oil field anymore because the players didn't actually do the job to save it. So, no, they don't even have that. So they take 0. The military APCs are located at Conclave. Where's the copper deposit? Copper deposit actually outside the range. So this isn't even going to get reported back to them. I think we're starting to see some war happen. I'm going to have to start keeping track of these like engagements. All right, let's see. I'm going to give these guys 1d6 plus 1 to have an advantage. And I think... So I think what happens is they send the... what troops do they have? It's actually not 1d6, it's 2d6, isn't it? It's actually brutal. Because they're costing 2 per turn for the exosuit troops. So they weaken their market share. They send the exosuit troops down, which is just like, you know, dudes in big, like, not quite power armor, but yeah, basically power armor, to deal with, to just take over base. Oh, did they just take it or did they crush it? Because they could, I mean, they could utilize it. Here's what happens. It's a 2d6. They claim it. So I don't have to do 2d6 1. It'll be a 2d6 versus a 1d6. They're gonna claim this like, hey, you work for us now, and they're not gonna like that. So we're gonna go 2d6. A 2d6 is their like offense to hold the spot. Oh, a 1 and a 6. This could. It's still not really good though. A 1d6. See how bad this is for them. Man, that's just, they're crushed. They are absolutely devastated by this. Oh man, this is a big deal. These are gone. 100% these are gone. These guys, a lot of ones today. If it's not 1s, it's 6s, and that's it. I mean, it's mostly 1s for everybody. So they anti-Dynamico, like marketing campaign, they ruin their market share. They take, I think, the copper deposit. They just take it. Control C. And we're going to go Control V. Right? They just take this. I should have just cut that, but that's fine. All right, they just take this. Silver deposit. Oh, they also had data for the silver deposit? Did they really? Oh, they do. Ooh, they can't afford it. They can't. Oh, who's willing to buy? Do they sell it? That's what happened. They bought the silver rights. Oh, so they spent a lot of their market value to buy the silver rights so they could start building. And then that's when Geosphere swoops in. Okay. We'll say they claimed Geosphere, or they claimed not Geosphere. They claimed the Dynamico copper mines, which are now officially, and they don't really need to set anything up with this. They spent their troops to do this. So the troops are now security. These guys are in the copper mines. They're holding peace there for the time being. They're the peacekeeping. So the copper deposit is now, this is Geosphere. And Geosphere is doing well. I mean, they've got some good military might here too. These guys are, man, it's so interesting the way some of these are breaking down, stats wise and things. Frontier is quietly doing very well. Biopulse is all over the place. I love the way the politics have been going. I am really curious where a lot of these end up going. Okay. And what else? They don't have enough samples. They have unlocked training cap level 1. Silverlight's unlocked training cap level 1 too. And make sure that okay. Dynamico. I think that's their turn. I don't think they're ready to sell. They've got some. They just bought this. Can they hire anyone else out to do anything? No, because that would cost them twice as much. They have to do. God, I don't know what they would do. Like they can't make a move. They break even. They have no value. The copper driver. God, do they have any assets? Exchange Con speaking, lithium deposit is owned by Geosphere. That's owned by Geosphere. That's owned by, man. Geosphere actually controls a lot in this area too. Yeah, this is like Geosphere is now owning all the areas here. I could probably make a job to for the players to do something about this. There has to be something here that the players can do. What would the players do? The regulators. Oh man, I guess here we got a new job. We'll say this is job 1. Say job 2. It's just for Dynamico versus Geo. I don't think Dynamico is one of the factions that just doesn't. I don't think they have a player on their side. So I think this being possibly the first faction to fall, I think is not fully surprising. So here's what happens: either the players do something to give Dynamico something. Or probably Geos. Someone's going to scoop him up. Maybe Biopulse could like. Oh god! I mean, Biopulse could purchase back the silver deposit rights, but yeah, that was just bad timing. That was really bad timing for them. Okay, yeah, that's it. That's, I mean, Dynamico. That's 11. I mean, they can't. Nothing. They're on the back foot here. There's nothing they can do. There's really nothing they can do. They're breaking even, and unless they get rid of their security team, like they stop paying their security team. God, their military dictatorship. Maybe that's what they do. They flex their. If nothing, this is the chance. This is their last stand. If nothing happens positively for them this month, they're off. That's it. At which point, somebody will scoop them up. Probably Geosphere, although also possibly Frontier. If Frontier wants to scoop them up, they could do that. I don't think they'll just dissolve. I think they don't really have any assets either. Like, they don't have assets. There's nothing to take. Yeah, I mean, that's it for them. The exchange, we'll give the exchange some power. 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, they'll get some power here. That increases their training cap. We'll copy this. We'll move this one to here. Bam. All right, so that gives them some power there. So, and we'll say the exchange. Let's see. What's training? Exchange has samples. They don't really need samples. Players can store basic vehicles. Yes, so actually they do have that. Control C, say Control V, can store credits. We'll say yes, Control V. Players can store mechs. No, that's not a thing yet. Mechs aren't even a thing yet. This is actually really exciting. I part of me wants to like absorb like Dynamico now, but I think that's nope, not necessary. Okay, so the Keepers claimed a third beacon. Frontier claimed natural gas. They had a treatment center built and a training capacity increase. The Lost established a new village. Biopulse had Triage Center 2 built, sells the silver rights to Dynamico. They ended the Cyber Ninja program, and they did something else. Ended the Cyber Ninja program. Oh, and they did the Triage Center. Neogen established a cybersecurity division. Home was caught by Apex. They lost a bunch of people and property, and now they're nomadic. I'll just make a note of that. They are now nomadic. For the time being. Apex moved significant manpower and drones eastward. They captured Home, which they're using to get power and samples from. Paydirt repurposed their enforcers from mutant fighters to workers. So they've got like super strong workers, which honestly should be like a +2, to be honest. But they're probably big dumb lugs, so there's probably only a few of them, so it's probably fine. Silverlight attacked the beacon, which is currently under fire. They built the Combat Simulation Center. And they destroyed, not they didn't destroy the hunters. We got rid of that. We canceled, we retconned that. And Geosphere went, had a smear campaign, sort of, or like they helped ruin the market share of Dynamico, and then also stole the copper mines out from underneath them. Dynamico basically did nothing because they have just no more money. They could maybe borrow money from the exchange. That could be interesting. Let's say, for a minute, for a minute, they do have a silver mine. It's going to cost them 1. So maybe they borrow. I'm going to make a note here. They owe 2 power to the exchange. That's in the wilds. That's what they do. They're able to do something. And this is going to give them +1 power per turn. That's what it is. Excuse me. So they have a silver mine. They can't utilize it yet. They're just scrambling. They borrowed, they're borrowing from the bank now. We're going to say these guys, they give them 1 power to help. They basically, the exchange funds, that's what it is. The exchange training, and we'll say that they backed Dynamico. Back Dynamico's silver mine. That means that technically, they owe them money. I don't know if they care enough. I guess we'll see what happens. If they care enough about what happens to the silver mine. But I think at this point, Geosphere has made their plans a little more obvious. We're taking over Dynamico. That's going to be our thing. I don't know if they then take the silver mine or something, if the exchange would care, or if they just want, or if maybe they take on the debt, like, hey, we'll give you 2. That's fine. We'll pay you for that. I could see that being a thing too. They're like, we'll buy it out. We will purchase out Dynamico, and then also we'll pay off their debt. That could absolutely be a thing. We'll see how the next turn goes. I think. That's not the. That wasn't the right button. This is the right button. That might actually be it. I think that's basically. I have to update the jobs, so the to-do list now includes updating the. Let's see. So we don't need this anymore. Involves updating. We have a long list. 5, 6 things we have to do. God, I gotta take cleaner notes. The power of the jobs for the players, the downtime activities, the faction blurb, and a new icon for home. And the frontier, whatever that was supposed to be. Frontier, something for frontier. Treatment center. Frontier, say treatment. Oh, write that a little cleaner this time. Treatment, I can't read my own handwriting. Center, okay. All right, and I think that's actually gonna do it. That's it. We're done. That's the GM turn. A lot of this other stuff is gonna be really boring and just mostly writing up some stuff, so that's fine. Just coming up with notes and things. And yeah, that's it. That's the GM faction turn. It was 2 hours and 24 minutes approximately. So hopefully this was interesting, entertaining, whatever for you. And this video will be up tonight. I'll upload it as is. I don't think I need to make any edits to it or anything like that. There's no normal Twitch ad breaks. There was no pauses or bathroom breaks. I guess I'm gonna go to the gym. And we'll see. Today's Thursday, the 13th, and we'll see on Sunday at 3 p.m. Pacific how that goes. So that's all for now, friends. I guess I'll catch you and see how everybody reacts. Bye for now.